A table, please. Please. There is a table which is comparing the phases. Phase 0, 1, 2, 3, and the summary is given here. What is happening here, okay? I'm leaving this summary table for you to read and to interpret the table, because you know the details of the table. There is no problem, okay? I'm just giving you in 2 or 3 lines a little mechanism of parturition, okay? That mechanism is very simple now. Hormones are there. You are causing contraction of the enjoy the picture session later, okay? Let us finish this first, no problem. I know you love pictures. You can take your selfies, no problem, later. But right now, you continue. Okay. So, the uterus is contracting by the action of the oxytocin and the other hormones which are local. The contractions are the labor contractions, and they are giving the pain also. We call them the labor pains. The pains are coming. The true pains are now coming. Okay? In the early part of pregnancy, there are some contractions. Do you remember? But these are painless contractions, and these are Braxton Hicks contractions. They are purposeless. They are useless. They are not meaningful. Okay? Yeah. Vision Festival, you can leave. 12:30? Go. No problem. Okay. Labor pains, please. Okay. During the process of the labor pain, okay, we need to know why pain is felt actually. Contraction is majood when uterus is contracting. What are the reasons of the pain? Number one, when the uterus is powerfully contracting, the myometrium develops hypoxia, and hypoxia releases some chemicals, and those chemicals are affecting the pain receptors which are majood in the myometrium. Okay. Second thing is, there is stretching of the peritoneum, and peritoneum is full of the receptors. The parietal peritoneum is full of pain receptors. Cervix also has the pain receptors. When the cervix is dilating and stretching, the pain is there. All right? And finally, inside the wall of the uterus, there are some ganglia, and in those ganglia, there are some pain receptors, and they are stimulated. Okay? So the ganglia is compression. There is stretching of the peritoneum, myometrial hypoxia, ischemia, and finally dilatation. So, reasons of the pain, are these mechanical only? Okay. So, could it be mechanical as well as chemical also? Okay. What is the chemical reason here? Hypoxia and ischemia. Alright? Okay. Now, look at the picture. Okay. This is only telling you about the process in the diagram, okay, and that is more than enough. First of all, the baby is moving down and stretching the cervix, okay. Signals go to the receptors are stimulated, the stretch receptors, and the signals will travel via nerve fibers. Shabab, if you let me continue for another 5 minutes, we'll finish, okay. I'm going back. Number one, stretching. Stretch receptors, sensory nerve fibers, which are taking the impulses. Hypothalamus and pituitary. Hormone is secreted from the posterior pituitary. Hormone is coming into the blood and acting on uterus. Further contraction. Further contraction means further downward movement of the baby. Further stretching, and this positive feedback cycle which is going on. The same thing is shown in the graph. I am just giving you the names of the stages, the rest you will do, okay. The first thing is dilation, okay. The first stage of labor is from the labor pains, when their true labor pains are started, to the complete dilation of the cervix. Complete dilation means the cervix, which is completely closed, will open, and the opening has a diameter qatar of 10 centimeters. It is complete effacement of the cervix. Cervix has been taken up really, and this process of taking up of the cervix and dilating it completely is called, it becomes very thin, it is taken up, the smooth muscles, they go up and they form the lower uterine segment, and this is the cervix like this, okay. And it will dilate and it will be taken up like this. It will go up like this, and look at now the size. This is the size between my hands, and this is the size which will allow the baby to pass through. So from this cervix like this, okay, which was closed like this, it will become softer, thinner, and the muscles will move up. They will be retracted like this, and the whole smooth muscles will go up, and they will form the lower uterine wall, and the remaining part in between is the dilated and effaced opening of the cervix, and this is the final opening through which the baby will deliver. Okay? Yeah, you're welcome. This is closed cervix. Do you see that? And it is completely effaced. It is taken up. It has become such a thick cervix, becomes very thin, and it goes up here. It goes up there, and it will form an opening of how much diameter? 10 centimeter, which is fully dilated cervix, and the baby will deliver. Okay? Stages of parturition are given. Second is the baby delivery. The pains become more and more intense. The contraction becomes prolonged, and this stage of labor usually finishes in about an hour or less than an hour in the first baby, when the first baby is there. In the second, third, or fourth babies, the stage becomes shorter. This delivery of the baby. Okay? After complete dilation begins the second stage till the delivery of the baby, and that should happen in less than an hour, 1 hour, okay, for the first time. Okay. The third stage is delivery of the placenta. Finally, the uterus is contracting and placenta gets separated. The bleeding starts also, and the placenta slowly separates, and there is a delivery of the placenta and the umbilical cord together. That completes the third stage of the labor. Okay, parturition. It finishes. Just look at this picture. It has a very little message. Bleeding has started, because if you remove the placenta from the uterus, imagine how much bleeding will happen from the uterus, isn't it? It's a big wound actually. You are removing something. If I remove a part of skin from here, imagine what will happen from this area. Okay. Same way you are removing a attached organ and completely detaching it from a big area, so it has to bleed. But a good point about the uterus is that it can contract very powerfully. Look at the slide. Look at the muscles, like the smooth muscles which are interlaced between each other, and a blood vessel or the blood vessels are passing between these smooth muscles. If these smooth muscles contract very powerfully, what will they do to the blood vessels? They will, compress from outside and will cause occlusion. Okay, and they will try to decrease the blood flow inside those vessels. So it's the mechanical compression from outside which is causing the decrease in the. Okay, this is called living ligature. Ligature means you are tying. If I have a blood vessel here, hold it please, hold it. Okay, if I have a thread and if I tie it like this is ligature. I am ligating it, isn't it? Okay, so what you are doing here, if it is passing here and I am compressing it, actually I am ligating it. You call it a living ligature or a biological ligature. It is a natural ligation which is happening, number one. Second thing is thrombosis. At the same time, clotting starts inside the damaged blood vessels. The clots are formed. So the clotting will also stop the bleeding, number two. Number three, what is the third thing? It's the myotamponade. Because the uterus is contracting, baby is majood or not majood? Placenta is there or it is delivered? Delivered. Now there are two walls of the uterus. The two walls of the uterus will come against each other. Okay? If the two walls of something are coming close to each other and compressing each other, what will happen to the bleeding? Less or more? Yes. So compression of the walls with each other, this is called myotamponade. So three phenomena are happening. What about the first phenomenon? Mechanical or electrical or chemical or what? What about the second phenomenon? Mechanical, chemical, hormonal or what? It's a chemical phenomenon of coagulation. What about the third phenomenon? Great, thank you very much. Okay, we are almost done and it's finished. This is Mabruk, it's a boy. Okay. How do you know? I don't know. It's finished and thank you very much. That was about the basic process. I gave you the outline. Read it from the presentation. I haven't used all the lines of presentation, but you can read it yourself. Okay? Any question, any issue in your mind? No. Thank you very much.